What's going on, everyone? What is going on? It is Saturday, January 18th, and we are back with another midday stream here on the Touring Your Rain Reloaded channel. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you haven't done so, make sure you also hit the bell twice to be notified whenever I upload a new video or go live, or just simply join the Discord, and you will get the notification for sure in there. Y'all see the title? I could tell by last night's live and lack of participation, y'all was ready for the one today. But I can understand. I understand this is the one y'all really came here to see. We are talking about Fat Joe today, saying that he has resigned as the host of the BET Hip Hop Awards, and I put resign in air quotes. But before we get into all of that, let's go ahead and acknowledge the people who are here so far. We got Firebat, Wallow J, Stolen Ancestors, Kane the Bad Guy, SD Johnson, Jayla Mink, Miss Jalen, William K, Anthony Phillips, Matthew Wilson, Savion, John Shippey, Miss Nisi, Bills fan 1970, Eddie Foster, A No Weary, Scylla T, FBA Rigger All Black, Derry B, Ty C Roland, Sovereign Black, Tamika's Den, my digital auntie Moochie's in the building, Savon Scott. Who else do we have in here? Dimple Face, Roku Muro, CGI Kid Productions. Who? Cassettes and Records. Israelite Plight, Kels 517, Harley Lynn, Don P, and Marie is here in the building. So, if you've been living under a rock, Fat Joe announced on this platform that he resigned, quote unquote, from hosting the BET Hip Hop Awards. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to listen to the clip in which he had announced that he was resigning, to which many people didn't feel bad that he resigned. Many people felt like he shouldn't have been hosting it in the first place. Let's see. We also got Mars Bloom just came in. We got Cosmo Fury just came in here. Shout out to Cosmo Fury. He's been going live on this channel more often. If you haven't done so already, make sure y'all subscribe to his channel. We got Troy Scott in the building as well. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. The clip is only 41 seconds. I might stop in between to address some things that's said, but we're going to get through it.
A legend here. I'm talking about BX Native. Just chilling with VP Harris not too long ago. He hosted the BET Hip Hop Awards for third consecutive year.
Let me stop right there. Did y'all just hear that? They said Fat Joe hosted the BET Hip Hop Awards 3 times, 3 consecutive years. That is unheard of, to host an award show 3 times in a row like that. So that means the last time he did it was last year in because usually the BET Hip Hop Awards is hosted in October. So that means 2024, 2023, and 2022 that he's hosted. You got to ask yourself one question. What made them choose this guy of all people to want him to host this award show 3 times in a row? Even with the regular BET Awards, even if they've had people be repeat hosts, like say Monique, she's never done it 3 consecutive times, where she did it one year, then the next year, and the following year. Now, I believe she has hosted it 3 times, but they were never back to back to back. But what made them choose him, of all people, where they're supposed to be acknowledging the achievements in hip hop of that year and even of the past, to tap him to host it 3 times? And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I don't think I've watched the BET Hip Hop Awards since the first one. When they first started doing the BET Hip Hop Awards, I think that was the only one that I watched. I can't even remember who hosted it, but I never watched it after that. It just didn't appeal to me, but that's just me. Another place I remember seeing Fat Joe at was at the Soul Train Awards one year. He wasn't hosting anything, but I was wondering, like, You know what? Never mind. I don't know. He might got some kind of a contract with Viacom or something like that. And it's funny that you saw him at the Soul Train Awards. He hosted the BET Hip Hop Awards, but rarely did you ever see him at the regular show, the main show, the BET Awards.
Heavy hitter, legend, Mr. Fat Joe.
You know, thank you. I resigned as host of the BET Hip Hop Awards because not real shit. 2 Chainz said I've been monopolizing, so he said, "Yo, let me host." I have no.
Okay, so this is the part right here where he says that he resigned, quote unquote, from hosting the BET Hip Hop Awards, mind you, 3 years in a row. And the new host is going to be 2 Chainz. He's going to be the new installed host for this year's show. I don't know how many they're going to have him do, but he's going to host the show this year. And he said because he's monopolizing it. I'm going to tell you this right here. Fat Joe can tell this host of this show that. He can tell himself that. He can tell people who aren't working with a functioning brain that. But let's be real here. We know why Fat Joe has resigned from this. If Fat Joe did not say all the stuff that he said in the last couple of months, he would still be hosting that show. They would still keep him on the payroll. I truly believe, and I think many people in here believe, the reason why this man got fired is because he stirred the pot with FBA, and we clapped back in a major way. And the people over there at BET definitely saw what was going on and knows that if they kept this man on as the host of that show, that they would get backlash as well. I don't know what the ratings looks like for the BET Hip Hop Awards because I haven't checked it. I don't really care. But let's assume that, hypothetically speaking, that their ratings are through the roof. If he was to host the awards this year, those ratings would tank. And they know that. So a business move is to get him out the way and put someone else in there. And that's when they tapped 2 Chainz. So he can say he resigned, but let's be real here. And I have the perfect drop to play for his claims of resignation.
Goofy, I warned you. You're fired!
That's what I believe.
Oh, I could be a good host. I said, you know what, my brother? You could be the host next year.
You passed the torch officially?
Yeah. The 2 Chainz. I mean, BT don't know that.
Okay, so Pete, what he said at the end, I wish it didn't cut off right there. When the host asked him, did you pass the torch? As in, Fat Joe is somehow just passing a baton over to 2 Chainz to host it as if he's running this. No. BET is running that. Viacom is running that. You just got to check. You are, as far as I'm concerned, was a contracted employee. And notice what he said at the end right before it cut off. He said BET don't know that. So I got a question. He says he resigned and he's passing the torch to 2 Chainz to host this show, but the people who employed you don't even know? That just sounds very unprofessional. Let's hypothetically say he's telling the truth, quote unquote. And before I get into that, shout out to Miss Jalen for the 5. She says, you are fired. Yeah. Let's hypothetically say that he was telling the truth. That wouldn't be the most professional way to go about it. You handed over the reins to 2 Chainz, but BET doesn't know. Well, if they didn't know, they know now. And if that's how you handle it, and that was me, you wouldn't be hosting anything attached to my network again. But let's just be real here. Let's just be real with ourselves here. This man claims he resigned. I believe they went to him and said, Joe, let me step into my office right quick. We have a dilemma. We got a huge problem. You have been entangled with the Black community for such a very long time now, and you've been able to slide here and there and whatnot, but recently, as of lately, you've been feeling yourself a little bit too much, and now the Black community is a little bit upset, and it's driving revenue down, and we need to come to a consensus, and that consensus is.
Goofy, I warned you. You're fired!
There it is. So he can sit up here and say that all he wants, but in the back of our minds, we're saying to ourselves, this dude got fired. And you want to know what's also so interesting too? I don't know how many people in here watch Stars, but after Power Book 2 Ghost went off the air for good after it got canceled, do you know that Fat Joe got some show through 50 Cent hosting some kind of show where he was interviewing different Black artists like in hip hop and R&B? I'm like, why do they keep giving this guy jobs to interview people in that industry? Like he is qualified to do so. Now, I can honestly tell you, I never watched one episode of that. I can be truthfully and brutally honest and say, I hope that gets canceled. I don't know one person who watched it. I know a lot of people after Power Book 2 Ghost went off the air, if they had Stars, they cut off their Stars app. So if they did that, nobody was watching it. And shout out to Cassius Chris for the 2. He said we should demand BET publicly fire him. Hey, not a bad idea. But then again, keep in mind who owns BET. So if they didn't do it, then it is what it is. Exactly. I never watched it. I couldn't even tell you what that show was about. I couldn't even tell you one guest he had on the show, let alone what he was interviewing the people about when it came to the show. At this point, Fat Joe should have no type of say of what goes on in this community, especially when it comes to hip hop, if we want to relegate it to just that part. He has been more than exposed. And most of it is because of his own antics. And that caused people to go back and really break this dude down like a fraction. Resigned. Please. If he wants us to believe that, fine, but I don't believe that he just simply resigned. But anyway, I'm dropping the link in the chat. I know y'all have some things y'all want to get off of your chest. So there's the link for you all. Feel free to come on up and say what you want to say. I told you it wasn't going to take me long to get through this because, well, it wasn't a long video. Wallow J, you up here today?
Leave me alone. How you doing, Torian? What's up to everybody in the chat? Yeah, this was what I was waiting on, Torian. I ain't gonna lie, cause the Sonny Hostins, I was like, whatever, bitch. But anyway, he overstayed his welcome. He has overstayed his welcome. And also, I did look up the ratings the last couple of years for the BET Awards. I think they said they went up like 10%. Whoop-de-doo. To like 2 million
wait a minute. Was it the BET Awards or the BET Hip Hop? Oh, okay.
Hip Hip Hop Award. It went up to like 2 million.
I just wanted to make sure because some people got it confused between the main show and this one.
Yeah, the hip hop. It only went up like they said like 2 million last year, and I was like, that's honestly, if you look at 2 million, that's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's really not nothing. 1 million, 2 million people watching the award show ain't really. Cause award shows usually do around what 5, maybe 10 million. A good award show.
Well, award shows don't across the board don't do the ratings like they used to.
Yeah, they
Mainly
don't.
because mainly because back in the day, it wasn't streaming. Cable was like, not everyone had cable, and then a lot of award shows were regulated to main networks like NBC, ABC, CBS, and Fox. So now, some award shows you can watch them on streaming platforms. I think one of those acting awards, I'm not sure which one it is, has a contract with Netflix, and you can watch it and stream the show on Netflix and their main network.
Yeah, so because I have never watched the BET Hip Hop Awards. I never thought about watching it. It was never because it was never like none of the main. Reason why a lot of people stopped watching the BET Awards because a lot of people didn't. Because a lot of the big artists weren't going on there.
Yeah.
So it was the same thing with the Hip Hop Awards. If the biggest hip hop artists aren't going to be there, then what's the point of watching the show?
Mm-hmm.
It was no need.
The last time I watched the BET Awards was the year that Mary J. Blige got the Lifetime Achievement Award, and that was back in 2019. That was the last time I watched it, and the only reason I watched it was for that.
I watched it 2 years ago because I wanted to see what they was going to do with Hip Hop 50, and it was a shit show. It was. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I looked at it and I was just like, what has happened to BET? Like prime BET, like 2000 to maybe early 2010s, like when 106 and Park was on, that was the best era because you had College Hill, 106 and Park, Tigger Show, Rap City,
Teen Summit.
Yes. Prime, and everybody know what I'm talking about in the chat. Prime BET in the 2000s was fire. Especially
speaking of 106 and Park, I just actually saw something on Instagram where they're doing some kind of 25th anniversary special sometime this year for 106 and Park. I'll watch it because I grew up on that. That's a part of my preteen. 106 and Park came out when I was in middle school, and then it got canceled shortly after I graduated from college.
Yeah, like when you got home, you watched TRL at 3 o'clock, and then 106 and Park came on. You watched 106 and Park. That was the good old day. These kids won't know that, but yeah, Fat Joe, your ass is out of here. That FBA, he finally caught up with your ass. Your mouth will always get you in trouble, family, and I'm gonna land my plane there.
Appreciate you coming up. Shout out to Wallow J. I think I had a super chat that just came in. Shout out to Kevin for the 5. He said, Vince McMahon's voice, read my lips, screw you, you're fired. And for some reason, I can see Vince McMahon's face. Oh, and to Napalm Spears, he says, we need to confirm it with BET. Fat Joe could be patrolling. Here will be the confirmation. When the BET Hip Hop Awards comes on later on this year, because like I said, I think it usually comes on in October. If he ain't up there hosting, that's the confirmation right there. Because he says that he's handing, quote unquote, the reins over to 2 Chainz. Next up, y'all know who about to come to the stage, who's about to blow up to the stage. Hurricane Niecy, what's going on?
Good afternoon, Torian. Good afternoon, family in the chat. I have not watched BET in years. I remember prime BET, Donnie Simpson, Sherry Carter. That's the BET I remember when Bob Johnson was still at the reins. I think the last time I watched anything on BET, I can't remember when Heavy D passed away. He did a performance.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, so I think that was the last time I watched it. And then, of course, I watched the tribute for Mary J. Blige, but I watched that on BET's channel on YouTube. I wasn't going to sit through all, I couldn't tell you what who are the latest hip hop people. I have no clue. But as far as...
one of them is destroying another one right now.
Who?
Kendrick.
Oh, well, yeah. Of course, of course. Thank you for the clarification. But hip hop, they need to change the name because it's not hip hop. This is just my opinion.
Mhm.
We got a lot of simp energy in the hip hop community. That's my opinion. Case in point, Melly Mel did a 180. Was capping for Slob Joe. Talking about is a Bronx culture. No, hip hop evolves. All music genres evolve. This is about getting some money.
Mhm.
Now, for Melly Mel to do this makes him look stupid because he was in Microphone Check,
Mhm.
and Dwan B went in on him.
And
Dwan B,
Dewan B, he's a music historian. I mean, that man's music history and knowledge is like, it blows my mind with how much he knows his music knowledge. I said he's like a walking musical encyclopedia, especially when it comes to all genres of music. I said if you need any type of history about music, that's the person I would direct you to. Don't come asking me about it because mine is barely surface level. He goes to the core of it.
yes, he does. I've watched several of his videos of late, and he is very, very knowledgeable. But I'm gonna leave with this. Slob Joe, FBA did that to you. You's broke. Now go join your homie, Busted Rhymes. Be blessed, my baby.
You too. Shout out to Miss Nisi for coming up. And speaking of that, I think somebody was mentioning something about Fat Joe's album sales. First of all, if it wasn't for y'all in the chat, I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't have known that this dude had a whole album out. I didn't even know he was still making music. That's number one. Number two, I missed an opportunity to do a triple P on Fat Joe back in September. I didn't find out about it until late December, probably around the time when I did the last video I did on him, or the live I did on him. He was apparently supposed to have some kind of a concert somewhere. I don't know where. It might have been in New York somewhere. Apparently, the ticket sales were abysmal and they had to cancel the show. Now, mind you, the concert, they started to promote it like maybe near the beginning of 2024 for a concert that was supposed to happen in September. Now, let that sink in. You had since January to, we'll give you August to get people to come to your show, but you had to cancel it because the ticket sales were so low. That was in September. Then fast forward to the stuff that he was saying about us in the like since then, and now look at him now talking about he resigned from hosting the BET Hip Hop Awards. That fall from grace is a mighty one. All right, next we got Goddess M. What's going on?
Hey, salute to you, brother Torian,
Salute.
and be one as always. Hey,
Be one.
FBA family, shout out to you, big sis, my big sister Lucy. She brought it. She really did.
Mhm.
Let me tell you, Melly Mel, Sugar Rocks, and all the rest of those clowns. They're gonna realize that they sided with some bull and wake up on the wrong side of history. It's already evident that they have, and they will suffer the repercussions of that because one thing about the streets, we make and we break. Who we feel has the validity in our culture or doing any of our art forms that stems from our culture, shall I say?
Mhm.
And shame on him. And he looked like a melted um, stale cheese toast. And yes, I mean the disrespect because he meant disrespect to our whole lineage and a slap in the face to even have him to speak on creds. We don't do flip flopping, honey. Only flip flop we do is flopping a piece of fish in a skillet. So you out of there, Melly Mel. And all these other clowns that choose to get on the side of this um, vanilla gorilla extra tether sauce and sport burrito clam bake, better known as wet pho, he is a clown. You know, he's non-irrelevant. He was propped up by all the propaganda that the old legacy media does, and these um, SWS corporations who always play the propaganda and erasure agenda when it comes to our people, especially the small hats and all the others that tend to be, the reapers of the most from our coinage or from, trying to disenfranchise us. So FBA see them from a mile away, 50 miles away. We've always had the sight, the ingenuity, the creativity. We are the originators. We influence the world. There's nothing we don't do and can't do others than, in our wake, hoping to catch some of those sunlight, some of those, that shine that comes off of us. And just to be grateful and gracious if we allow you in our house at all, let alone, to have anything valid to say when it comes to our culture, because no one has added to it. They have not elevated it. They have not, engineered or did anything creative. All they did was extenuate, cosplayed, interloped it, and regurgitated what it is that we do. There's no originality in none of them. And this.
Guys, are you there? It sounds like your mic cut out.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry about that. Where did I cut off that? Talking about the last hustle and flow.
Yeah.
I mean, that genre that they do is very disgusting. That they try to have all these others on to critique, and like they can pass the crown of anything dealing with any of our art forms, let alone hip hop. Like I say, we are the ones with that reign. We are the creators of it. And so therefore we will pick and choose who we choose to validate and give validity to and credit to, not them. And it's always us. And I thank you, brother, for this excellent piece that you've done. And that Sunny chick, she needs to just go on somewhere and just go on and lay her head down somewhere, because she don't speak for us. She's a despicable little piece of gore powder. She's disgusting. And they allow her to get away with these tropes. They allow her to get away with these rants that they would
and
never allow. You know, uh,
and it's
uh, uh,
great. And
it's
I mean,
it's insane. A
and
foundation
it's
of
and,
what
and,
women
and,
can do.
and it's crazy that you brought up Sonny Hostin. And I didn't think about to put the connection together, but Sonny is Puerto Rican, just like Fat Joe.
Indeed. And something goes awry in their brain. It's like a short happens. No, we them and all the Lissa Wicks.
You should have saw the look on her face when she you know what I'm about to say, right? She should have saw the look on her face when she was sitting across from what's his name, Lewis Gates, when he was
Yes.
searching her ancestry, and he had told her, "You are the descendants of slave owners." The look on her face, she was in such distraught, like she couldn't believe it, because she was probably told a bunch of lies growing up. She wasn't
Indeed.
told that part. That part was obviously omitted. But the look on, if y'all never saw it, for
Man.
those in the chat, if y'all never seen it, just go on YouTube and look up Sonny Hostin, looking up her ancestry, and
Baby, it was priceless.
look at her facial expression when Lewis Gates tells her that her ancestors owned slaves. Her
And
face looks like a deer caught in the headlights.
yes, it did. And you know what? I don't know why she put on the shock in our face, because I mean, all she have to do is look in the mirror, and she somewhat, bringing these people out through her bloodline on a daily. Something slips out of that mouth. That you just look at her and be like, something must have went awry and just um wrong in the womb somewhere. I meant because
Mm-hmm.
that chick, she loves she loves putting it on thick, and she's
Mm-hmm.
always got something to say towards our men, and she's
Yeah.
always speaking as if she's speaking for our women. No, you speak for your Puerto Rican people. You speak to why is it that
they're in the conditions that they're in, and keep your mouth out of ours, and stop trying to cosplay and interlope some of our history. Like I was saying that Lixowicz, the Goodbye Julie Carmichael, the dude that playing Spawn, he's a comedian. He's not that funny. John Lickowitz, whatever his name. I'm sick of this pseudo interloping, cosplaying. I'm gonna take everything that's FBA Friedman history and facts and do some pseudo mixed up hachi Goya with extra cheese on the side version of history. You don't get to remix history and present it as your own, and something needs to be stopped. We need to start doing what we need to do towards these other platforms that let this creep come on there and have free reign, and this honest and disingenuous diarrhea at the mouth. We're sick of it. And all these Latinos that come on air and across here with these pseudo histories and trying to remix our history. I mean, they some good little, good little tethers.
Yeah,
Thank you,
revisionist
brother.
history is something else. Well, thank you for coming up, goddess.
You're welcome. Salute to you.
Salute. I gotta highlight this comment right quick. Jack said her mother, and they're talking about Sunny Hostin, is Puerto Rican and her husband is Haitian. Her father is FBA, but you never know what a clown self. That says so much. That's that says so much right there. But I still won't get over what she said last year. That's why I had to clown her and her husband yesterday. Shout out to Human Nature 55 or 499. They said Rappers Delight 1979. The Message 1983. Fat Joe was 9 years old. R.I.P. Sylvia Robinson. I appreciate the contribution. And it looks like that was the last person to come up. I did post the link again in the chat, but nobody clicked on it. But shout out to Wallow J, Miss Nisi, and Goddess M for coming up. I do appreciate you for coming up and lending your voice to the topic. Shout out to the people that contributed to the super chat. I appreciate you too. Tomorrow we will be on here. It will be on here and Rumble. We'll do the pre-show over here for True Crime Sunday. The announcement for what the True Crime Sunday is going to be on will be at 4 p.m. Just make sure to check the community tab at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you'll see what the topic is going to be. It's definitely going to probably be another one of those triggering topics discussions. I'm almost sure that it is because of the subject matter. But with that being said, everybody, y'all enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Make sure y'all stay warm. And if you live on the East Coast like I do, or specifically in the state that I do or near it, we supposed to be getting some snow. I think tomorrow and Monday, if I'm not mistaken. It's gonna be very cold Monday. I can't wait for Monday because I know KG gonna come with the jokes with that inauguration on Monday. I can't wait. But with that being said, enjoy the rest of your day. We will be back on here tomorrow. Be safe, be warm, and I will talk to you in the next one.